Welcome to the Startup Grind.
So this is another mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make, which is emphasis on execution instead of hypothesis. It's like I always tell my team, get it done and get it done freaking fast. You're not here to learn, you're here to work. After I say that, I always feel much better, and I usually treat myself to dinner at French Laundry.
Is this the Zynga corporate motto? Is this from Zynga? I
Expensive taste.
Mark Pincus said that. So,
Funny and true.
actually sad and true. But listen, I am the guy who talks about learning and iteration and etc. For those who, anybody ever unfortunate enough to work for me when I was in a startup, execution and relentless execution, relentless was part of the game. So while we could all talk about it's nice to learn and blah, 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 and great, are we having fun? And yes, I all want you to get smarter. But let me tell you, you were sleeping under your desk because I was sleeping under the desk. And I wasn't even in engineering, and I was there. This is a full contact, full body sport. So while I take exception to, of course, execution instead of learning and discovery, don't think that execution doesn't matter. If you're not relentless, and if you're not making people exhausted, you're not doing a startup, you're doing a hobby. So I just want you to hear that, is that my other thing about the last 30 years of entrepreneurship that I lived is you really had to want to be an entrepreneur. Nowadays, it's kind of a popular thing to do, and I don't think there's too much filter on a good number of people shouldn't be in this, quote, job. And I'll give you an example. I always teach every year a joint MBA class with Berkeley and Columbia executives. And almost every year I get set my watch and just wait for one student or two who comes to me at the end of the class and says, Professor Blank, I have a job choice. I really need your help. And I know what the conversation is now going to be. I've heard it for 10 years. What's the choice? I got this great offer from McKinsey. Wow, that's great. McKinsey's a great firm. What's your other opportunity? Oh, my roommates want me to join their startup. And I go, okay, you made your choice. And they go, don't you want to hear the startup? I said, no, you're working for McKinsey. Because if I ever heard you joined a startup, I'll make sure you never work in this valley again. Anybody understand why? McKinsey is a job. A startup is a calling. It's not a job. You can't join a startup. You got to want to do this. This is not like, some cruise ship. You're signing up for the Marine Corps or Delta Force here. And if you're not, you're joining a hobby. And you are going to be part of its failure, not as part of its success. So while we now have a methodology and process to make this happen, and we, now kind of you bring your dog and you have food and you great welcome, whatever, that's just because we're working your ass off. And if we're not doing that, then you are going to be beaten by someone like me, who's competing like a son of a bitch. So I just want to, I don't mean to be crude about it, but this is not, a fun job. This is, you are called to a passion. And everybody on the founding team and your early employees ought to be there, or you're going to lose them the first time. The going gets tough. And in a startup, the going gets tough quite often. And that's why you need committed early employees who believe in the vision, not because you paid them a lot. Does that?
Yeah,
Sorry about the rant.